Okay, guys, I wanted to see how many of you rig out your own kayaks or how many of you get someone else to rig them out. And if you did get someone else to rig out your kayak, what did it actually cost? I'm not saying say who did it unless you want to say who did it, but just what did it cost to get one rigged out? Me, I do my own rigging, and this is it. This is a 2026 NuCanoe Unlimited Max. And what I've got on here, to start out with, this trailer is a 1978 model trailer. I had it completely redone. I repainted it and put all new hubs and wheels and all on it. But one good thing about it is it's long enough that I can let my tailgate down without it hitting. And also the trailer is long enough that my kayak is sticking over just a little bit. However, if I wanted to, I could move the kayak on back and move that back some and still not hit my tailgate, but I wanted to have room to be able to turn it some. In this rear stern gear pod, I've got two 36-volt 50-amp batteries in there. And the way I hooked them up, with a selector switch to where I can switch either from the main battery or my backup battery. Rather than run these two batteries together as I could have done, I'd rather have two separate batteries because I can run this first battery as hard as I want to and not have to worry about getting stranded out there on the lake. I can just switch over to my second battery after I run this one dead, and I've got a full second battery to run off of. And that's why I put a selector switch in there to run off two batteries instead of running these batteries together and kill them both at the same time. I'd rather kill one at a time. And of course, I got a 60-amp breaker here. And I also installed a bilge pump in this area here. I put the bilge pump in there because I plan on keeping my scupper plugs plugged off, and if water comes in the kayak, I can pump it out back here in the back, and I've got a tube run out to the side over there. In this gear pod here, I've got two batteries in it. I've got a 12-volt 100-amp that I run my electronics off of, and I've got a 50-amp that I run all of my other lights and other items off of. I've got a seat that I got from Academy Sports. It's a very comfortable seat. Been very pleased with it. I had it on my Unlimited, just switched it over. On my 3-in-1 Lowrance transducer, I ran the wire off of it down this track here and back over there. And here what I done on this scupper plug, because I'm not going to unscrew them anyway, I just put a hole across from one side of the scupper plug to the other to where I could run a zip tie through there, and I zip tied it here, same way, zip tied it here, and then I run it in over here into this front gear pod. In this front gear pod, what I've done on it, I put in there my black box for my live scope. I got an active target 2. I've got it here, and it appears I have not hooked up one of my wires that I'll have to hook up. It's laying in here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. I got to hook that wire back up. But anyway, I've got it in here, and I also put it in a waterproof bag here. There used to be a cooler, and I just cut the lid off of it. So if any water ever does get inside of here, it does not get on my black box. And of course, I got various tools, and I got all my wires wound up and zip tied in here, and some tools back in here. But on the front, I have the Lowrance Recon trolling motor. It's a 120-pound thrust. It will run on 6.1 to 6.2 miles an hour most all of the time. I have seen 6.4 on it, but you can pretty much count on 6.1 and 6.2 most of the time. That's a 48-inch trolling motor shaft. That's the shortest one that they've got. And I don't know how much shorter you could actually go and still not be too short. I think I've got about 14 inches sticking up on the top now, and it's a 48-inch shaft, so I might have 2 inches left over beyond what some people run is a 36-inch shaft. So depending on your kayak and all, you might have to have a longer shaft than 36 inches if you run a Lowrance Recon. This Lowrance Recon has got a lot of torque, and you got to run your shaft down in the water a long ways if you run it on high, because it lifts the front of your kayak up so much. I also have on the front here, I put the bow lights. This type here, they're very bright, but they've been good too. And I hear my bilge pump coming on. I turned it on. It's worked off these 3 switches here, and also this here. This is for my heated gear in the wintertime. Right now, I've just got it plugged off with another connector plug here, just to keep it protected. I really need some kind of cap to slide over that bottom section, but for the time being, I just slid it over here. But that's for my heated gear in the wintertime. For my live scope pole, and a very good one. I had it on my Unlimited also, but I mounted it. This is where it goes when you're going to use it, but I've also got it mounted on these, I think these are paddle holders maybe is what these actually were, but I put 2 of them on here. I put one here and one here. You really only need one, but in case it was to come loose in one place, you know, you've got another and as a backup and you don't drop it off in the road somewhere, but I leave this on there all the time. And I've got it strapped down here so that, you know, it keeps up off of my wrap on my kayak. Got the Yak Attack boxes here, the double stack. It's a good place to put various baits in there. That's been good. Got the foot control for my rudder. Got the full deck kit. Some of it, of course, you know, is covered up with some of the other stuff, but anyway, it's the full deck kit. Also, guys, on the inside of the kayak, I've got the LED lights around the sides. That right there, it makes it really great when you're out there on the lake in the early morning hours, or if you fish at night. It just makes you more visible. You're less apt to get hit out there on the lake. Now on my Unlimited, I had similar lights, except the ones on the Unlimited were green. The green was a lot brighter than these, but the same brand as the ones that I've got on here now. These lights have been awesome, or at least the green ones was awesome out there on the lake. Actually, the green ones are so bright you'd have to turn them down because they were so bright. The lights has a dimmer switch on them that you just turn them down as low as you want them, or you turn them off. As the wrap on this kayak, I had it down here locally in Cleveland, Georgia. Next Step Graphics did it for me. They did an awesome job on it. I have been very pleased with it. They did it in less time than they quoted that they could do it in, so I was not without my kayak, but just, I think 3 or 4 days is all. And on my stern light, here it is on the back. It's got a cover on it for when, you know, it's raining or something, you're not using it, you can keep it covered up. On the back here, I've got a charging port for my battery, so if I get ready to charge my batteries, I can charge them right there. On the front up here, I've also got flush mount here to where you plug in your trolling motor at. It's flush mount, got a good cover on it, that works great. My locators, a lot of people run a bar across theirs to put the locators on. But guys, if you've got a gear pod like this is very sturdy. What I did, it's already got a track on it here, but I locked it in this track and I also put a couple more screws in here, but there ain't no way that'll go anywhere. I've had that on there for over 2 years on my Unlimited, and I've never had an issue with it. The front one, I just drilled a couple of holes in the front of the gear pod and put screws through there and put a washer on the back side of it, and that's very sturdy. It's not going anywhere. I have no need at all for a bar to go across through there. That's all mounted right here in front of the seat. It's easy to get to, and it's sturdy. I never take them off. They stay on there all the time. So that's something to also consider when you get ready to mount your locators, is if you got the gear pod for the front, that's a great place to take and locate them. If somebody gave me a bar to go across through there, I would not take it. It'd just be something else to get in the way, but that's perfect, guys. Another thing, guys, for you who has never seen any of my other videos about my motor being on this end of the trailer instead of the other end of the trailer, I back my kayak on my trailer in reverse of what most people do because I like my motor hanging over. Before I get in the water, I drop the motor down and then I just run it off the trailer with my remote and run it out in the water and spot lock it. Makes it a lot better. My kayak is very rarely ever pulled up on shore. Pulling it up on shore, the only thing that's going to do is scratch up the bottom of it, and I find there's no need in that. So again, I'd like to hear from y'all as to what you've rigged out on yours, and if you did it yourself, and if not, what did it cost to get yours rigged out? Of course, you know, I know it always depends on what all you do to one as to how much it's going to cost you. And some people's going to vary because of what they had done on it. But I get a lot of satisfaction just knowing I did mine myself. Everybody don't have the time to do theirs, or maybe they just don't want to tackle the job. But anyway, guys, this is it.